So in this video, I'm going to try and shatter all of your self-limiting beliefs about your own awkwardness and hopefully convince you that you're being incredibly unkind to yourself about your awkwardness or your perceived awkwardness. Because I used to be like this. I literally believe for like 10 years straight, 10, 15 years that I just had a boring personality, that I'm introverted, that there's something fundamentally wrong with me which makes me unable to communicate like other people. In other words, I'm just awkward and there's nothing that I can do to change that. But some learning I've been doing over the past year has honestly shifted the way that I view awkward behaviors. And it's honestly just felt like a weight off my shoulders. You are not socially awkward. Let's start with that. You are not socially awkward. You're not broken. You're not too boring or too introverted. You are simply in survival mode rather than play mode. So again, I used to be the textbook awkward guy. I would look at my friends growing up in high school and I think like, honestly, like I don't take this lightly. Like I don't mean this as disrespect to anyone. I would look at the way other people communicated and I would think I must be autistic or something. Like I must be on the autistic spectrum because the way that I feel versus how everyone else looks when they talk to people, when they talk to strangers, to girls, to people they are not that familiar with. I honestly thought like, how is it possible for a person to be relaxed? How is it possible for them not to just be like overthinking? Because for me, like, I'll give you the example. When I went to my first couple of parties in high school with my friends who were confident, and I'm just this skinny kid tagging along, I remember how physically tense and stiff and uncomfortable I felt for every single second of those parties. Like I'd have to like get drunk as fast as possible to even feel comfortable like standing in that environment, like knowing there are people looking at me. Like it felt like there were people watching my every move. And then the few people who I tried to strike up conversations with, the whole time I'd just be like super self-conscious. Like I think, am I boring them? Okay, we're talking about this now, but in the next minute, what are we going to start talking about? Like, where am I going to take the conversation? Honestly, the way I describe it is like, imagine every single conversation, every social situation feels like life or death. Like it's only a matter of time before I fuck this up and they're going to think I'm weird. They're going to label me the awkward guy. Like, to be honest, so many people had done up to that point. The amount of times I heard growing up, oh, he's socially awkward. That guy's fucking awkward. And it gets to you. You just start believing, like, your beliefs become a reflection of how you believe other people see you. You start to believe that you are a certain way and you can't change. And all of that feeds into what I'm about to tell you. Because, again, I believed that I had no social skills, that I couldn't talk to people, that I must be autistic. And honestly, I think even back then I knew that was a lie. Because I could talk to people. I went to those parties with my friends who were more confident than me, who were more popular than me in high school, but they were still my friends and I still felt extremely comfortable around them. We'd still have the most fun conversations. We'd still have our shared things that we find funny. When we would meet up, we would have the most fun possible, just saying the most childish shit, having a great time, like being as unfiltered as possible. Like no one used to see this version of me in school because in school I was ultra quiet, ultra reserved, always kept my head down all day, tried to get through talking to as least people as possible. But around my friends, I'm like almost extroverted. I'm loud, I'm high energy, and I will say anything. So I don't understand how people can look at themselves and say, I'm awkward, I have bad social skills. It's not true. Around your friends, you have personality. You have that natural charisma that comes out. You don't think too hard about what you're going to say next. Like, that's not even a thought that comes into your head. So on some level, you must have social skills. You might not have the best social skills in the world, but it's not no social skills. You have the ability to socialize. You're not awkward around your friends. And this is going to be quite, I don't think a lot of people are even aware of this, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason for the difference between you with your friends and you with other people. And some people are going to say, yeah, social anxiety, or, I trust my friends. I trust my friends and, I know them, I'm familiar with them. And that is true on some level, but it goes much deeper than that. With your friends, you do not feel like you are in danger. And I mean that in the most literal sense. Your nervous system, which detects threats and danger in your environment, is completely at peace with your friends. And that's what allows your natural personality to flow out. That is why you're not awkward. But around other people, particularly around strangers, you have learned somewhere down the line that new people, strangers, unfamiliar conversations means danger. Somewhere along the line, you've picked this up. Like, your brain has been conditioned to think that any new person, any new situation comes with a certain level of risk. There's some kind of negative consequence to this. And your anxiety, the reason you have anxiety, that's your body telling you to get the fuck out in this situation. The anxiety exists to protect you from the perceived danger, even when there's not any danger there. So again, the reason I was super nervous and awkward in any conversation is because of what I'd learned in the past. I'd learned that exposing myself, showing my true personality to new people oftentimes led to rejection, embarrassment. Like, it felt like high school in particular was just one long series of getting like bullied and humiliated by the people around me. So I learned to become like the most reserved version of myself. I learned to like not want to actively seek out new conversations with people and just kind of hide, because that's me staying alive in that situation. My body believes I'm in danger and it's trying to protect me. But then your nervous system just blindly applies that to every new social situation, even when you're not necessarily in danger. It will put you in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, your nervous system does not give a single fuck about how you're coming across, whether you're being charming or charismatic or funny. It only cares about protecting you from that danger. And that means it shuts down things like humor, your creativity, the things that make a conversation lively, that show personality. When your brain freezes and you can't think of what to say next, that's your body diverting resources away from your brain and towards like your survival mechanisms, like fight or flight. That's what it is. It's stopping you from accessing the thoughts that you would naturally have when you're feeling safe, like when you're around your friends. It stops you from accessing your built-in social skills. So it's not a question of, am I awkward? It's a question of, are you in survival mode? Do you feel safe? And the answer, 9 times out of 10, is no. So now we're going to talk about something which I call play mode. So imagine everything I've just told you, conversations feeling like life or death, because for your body, it literally is life or death. It thinks it is in danger, that you're about to die. Play mode is the state we need to enter to get back to feeling relaxed, safe, not in any danger. Basically, how we are around our closest friends who we trust. Because it is possible to feel that comfortable, as comfortable as you would feel around your friends, around strangers. I have this now. Like, again, I'm not perfect. I still have my awkward moments. But generally, I feel like this is the most comfort I've ever felt in social situations. And that comes from making yourself laugh. Play mode literally means allowing yourself to be playful. In a situation that feels super serious, life or death, if I get judged here, if they reject me, what's going to happen? Even though it's not that serious in the first place. Allowing yourself to have fun in that moment. Literally, it's this mindset. It's the world is here for my entertainment. You know, sometimes when you're just going about life and you see something funny and you'll laugh to yourself, like you might be completely on your own, but if you found it funny, you'll laugh. You'll find it funny. It's having that kind of energy in conversations. It's not being afraid to make jokes that you wouldn't usually make, or make jokes that you would only make around your friends. If there's something you genuinely find funny about this moment, or entertaining or fun, it's laughing, it's calling it out, it's bringing that to the surface. These thoughts that we kind of suppress, you know how we talk ourselves out of saying certain things because we think that'll be a little bit weird. It's almost like letting the weird, goofy kind of parts of your personality come up to the surface. Because it's these things, it's by letting out these things that we're suppressing our actual personality that we've suppressed because we don't feel safe. It's through doing that, letting personality out and realizing that it's okay, that we begin to learn, we begin to deprogram all the programming that we were put through experiences like high school, and learn that, you know, we can feel safe expressing our real personality. So yeah, it's through things like that. It's through making jokes. Humor is the thing I go on about more than anything, because humor is so unique to you. And I honestly feel like one of the great truths is people who see other people having fun, even if they're laughing at their own jokes, even if they're being childish, they naturally want to join in with that. So this is like a crazy idea to some people. Like, I could make myself laugh. I could just try my best to have a good time. And I'm almost certain that other people would laugh and other people would join in with that fun, because people are drawn to the people radiating that positive, fun energy. When you're awkward, it's the opposite. You're like very, very serious. Even when you're not realizing it, you're tight. You're the opposite of relaxed. And it's impossible to like find humor. But by almost like those little thoughts that we shut down, we tell ourselves not to say, honestly, by saying them, we give ourselves permission to feel okay about the whole situation. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm kind of waffling. I'm going to expand on this concept of play mode in future videos this week, so stay tuned in, and I'll see you in the next one.